What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, this is not going to have anything to do with gaming, obviously. Today, we're going to be talking about the cost of living as an expatriate in Bangkok, Thailand. I made a video similar to this about a year ago, but I've been here for a little over a year now, so I have a more concrete understanding of how things work and what you can expect to pay if you do in fact find yourself living out here in the same way that I do. So first thing we're going to talk about is the rent. You absolutely do not have to pay what I'm paying. And I guess I should preface this by saying that you absolutely do not have to pay what I'm paying. This is sort of just the context of living comfortably. I basically got all the bells and whistles. I've got a gym upstairs. I've got a pool. Downstairs I've got a mart. On the weekends I've got food trucks that come down here that give me a variety of meals and all kinds of different stuff, right? So I've got all the bells and whistles. The building itself is a multi-million-dollar building. It's very clean. It's not like infested with like low class people. There's not like a whole lot of crazy shit that goes on here, etc., right? So I'm covering the expenses from that perspective. You absolutely do not have to pay this. In Bangkok, you can find an area that's probably about the same, but you can definitely find places for a lot cheaper than what I'm currently paying. But again, just from the perspective that, this is a pretty upscale place, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So as you can see at the top right here, I've got a little notepad up there. At the time of making this video, the Thai baht is 36.39 to the dollar. So obviously, depending on what the exchange rates are, this can vary. Next month it could drop to 35. I've seen it as low as 32. So right now it's a little high. But anyway, as you can see, for my living situation, I'm paying 21,000 baht per month, and that comes out to 577.15 a month. For the electricity, this is not really something that, like, when you watch my video, you can't really say, oh my god, that's what I'm going to pay, because you need to remember I'm a full-time StarCraft 2 streamer, so I'm my computer's always on, my lights are always on, my air conditioner is always on. So if you put that into perspective, I'm paying between 2,700 to 3,300 baht a month, or in dollars, that's $74 to $90 a month. Just in the fact that I run the air conditioner 24/7, because even when I leave the apartment, I still leave it on. So when I come home, it's not like crazy hot in here. I've got, I can cool down almost instantly, and I just like doing that, right? So I'm willing to pay extra for that. But from that perspective, if even with that going on, I'm paying $74 to $90 a month, that's really cheap still for electricity. But the point is that, if you come out here, you're probably not going to be like me, where you're in the apartment basically all of the time. And, you're probably going to be spending time outside. You're going to turn your aircon off. So honestly, if I had to make a guess, I would say a normal person living in this situation would probably pay between $30 and $50 a month. That would be my guess. And for the water bill, I pay, it's basically a flat 120 baht a month. I mean, it doesn't matter how much dishwashing I do. It doesn't matter how much, how many showers I take, or how much laundry I do. It's almost always coming out to about 120 baht, or $3.30 a month. When we talk about tariff, this obviously all just depends on you. I do have a couple of suggestions, though. If you do find yourself out here, I would download either Bolt or Grab. Those are the two main applications out here for, booking taxis or booking motorbikes, stuff like that. But there's also the subway system. So in the situation that I live, I don't have to use a motorbike and I don't have to use a taxi, but a lot of times I will because it's a little more convenient. But I can walk 5 minutes to the subway system, which is connected to the SkyTrain, and it's a little cheaper, but not really significant enough for me to, it just depends on how I feel on the day, right? Like if I want to walk to the subway, okay, fine. But if not, then I'll just book something. And, the more time that you spend in Thailand, the more used to using the motorbike you will get. When you first come here, you're going to get on that thing and you're going to be like, oh God, fuck this. I am absolutely never doing this again. But then when you realize how cheap it is and you man up a little bit and you just get on there, and it's not that bad, but you do have to be, diligent when you're on there. I wouldn't be fucking around on your phone. When you hit potholes and stuff like that, it can be a little daunting or whatever. But my recommendation is once you get out here and you start using the motorbikes a little more and you get used to it, that would be my recommendation for transportation, because it's just way cheaper and it's way faster. Obviously, the other downside to this would be I've gotten sick multiple times since I started using the motorbikes, because all the smog and shit coming from the exhaust. I mean, the traffic is really heavy out here, right? So you're weaving in and out of cars, and that is one downside to it. So if you don't want to get sick, I would recommend wearing a mask while you're on one of those things. But over time, your body will get used to it, and that will stop happening, etc. So again, tariff depends on you, but those are my recommendations if you find yourself out here. Food, again, depends on you. I mean, it can be really cheap out here, or it can be really expensive. It all just depends on how you want to do it. So like for me, I spend probably about $5 a day on food. And, what I do is I just walk downstairs to the 7-Eleven, and they have a huge wide variety of different food. Now, albeit, they're packaged, and it's definitely not the healthiest. But, for me, it's satiating and it's fine. Or what a lot of people like to do is they'll go to, the Sukhumvit area, for example, and look for street food. And you can spend as low as $1 per meal at a street food vendor. For me, in my particular situation and where I live, it's not really convenient. There's not a lot of food vendors around here. There are some, but I haven't tried them yet. But anyway, so that's what I do, and I spend about $5 a day. That's about what I average. Now, over the weekends, if I go out, depending on if I have a date or I have a girlfriend or something, I'll spend a little more, obviously. But it's not really all that different, because when I go out, I usually keep it to the street food. So, but it doesn't mean you can't find a Texas Roadhouse or an Outback Steakhouse or, something like that. I mean, everything under the sun, moon, and stars they have here. So food depends on you, but you can rest assured that you're going to spend far less here than you are in the US. Guaranteed. And then the final expense that we're going to cover here is the internet, phone, and the television. I pay, it's not exactly $1,500, it's something like $1,400, but this comes out to be about $40 a month. And what this gives me is it gives me 1 gigabyte download and 500 upload for my speeds on my internet. And it's a dedicated line. It's not shared with anybody, password protected, Wi-Fi, etc. It gives me, for my cell phone, it gives me 30 gigs of data, which, depending on who you are, that's a mega fuck ton or not a lot. But for me, it's basically nothing. Or I mean, it's a shitload for me because I'm always on Wi-Fi, right? But if I do go out, it's enough for me to basically just use my mobile data anytime I want without having to pay extra. But I actually don't think that that's how it works out here. They give you 30 gigs of 5G network speeds. And then if you've exceeded that, they just drop the speeds, I think, to 4G. And to be honest, I don't really see a difference between 4G and 5G out here, if I'm being honest. But anyway, that's what you get. And I can't remember 100% I know in-network calls are free. So like I'm on the company that I'm with is called True. And so if I call somebody on True, then it doesn't cut into my numbers, like my minutes per month. But if I call somebody outside of the network, then it does. I'm not exactly sure what I'm getting for that. It's pretty irrelevant for me because I don't call anybody. And so I don't have all the data for that because I just don't make phone calls to people. You know, I talk to people on WhatsApp or I talk to people online or, you know, things that use data, things that, I mean, who the fuck uses regular phone service anymore, right? And then the other thing that it covers is the television. I don't need it. And I'm actually thinking about returning the box that I have here and then getting a cheaper package that includes only the internet and the phone. The only reason I haven't done that is, you know, just in the event I find like a Thai girlfriend or whatever who likes to watch Thai stuff, and at least I've got it, right? And it's not like I'm paying a whole lot of money for it, $40 a month. So anyway, that's where we're at. So, you know, we're not paying a whole lot on expenses. And again, like I said before, this place is like where I live would be considered, you know, probably middle class, maybe creeping up into the upper class a little bit in Thailand. Obviously, the only downside to this condo is that it's really small. It's 33.5 square meters. So, you know, it's not really all that big, but, you know, for me, it's whatever. I would be fine with a smaller space than this. So that is one thing to consider if you're looking for a place that's like this, that's kind of like upper, you know, more upper scale. The rooms are typically pretty small. You know, and if you get like a 2-bedroom or something that's, you know, a little more spacious, the price really does go up quite a bit. I haven't looked into it too much, but the last time that I did, I think you're probably paying more now, but when I used to apartment hunt in the U.S., a 2-bedroom would run about maybe $800 or $900 a month. It's probably more than that now, but that's around when I was researching it before, that's around what I was seeing with like a 2-bedroom. So I'm sure with the economy in the U.S., it's probably way cheaper now, you know, for anybody coming out here or whatever. A couple other things that I wanted to talk about now that I've been out here for a while. You know, there are a lot of expats that come out here who come out here for the party life. And so just to throw out some numbers there, you know, if you go to, it really depends on where you go. If you go to an area called Tonglor, that's kind of more upper scale. You know, there's a lot of rich Japanese and rich Asian, just rich people in general live in that area, and so the prices are a little higher, right? So if you want to go out to like a nightclub or something like that, and you know you don't want to break the bank, my recommendation would be to go to either Khao San Road or Soy Cowboy. I'm sure there are other places, but those are the only two places that I've been. And as far as the prices are concerned, and again, it depends. You got to look, but I would say on average, you're going to be spending between 100 Thai baht to 200 Thai baht just on a drink. Okay, so that's what 100 Thai baht is $2.75, and then 200 baht is 550. So you'll pay between $2.50 and $5, the upwards of $6. Now, I was having a conversation with some people in my chat room about this a couple days ago, and people who frequent nightclubs and stuff like that. They were saying that they were paying the upwards of like $8 or $9 to like $12, for a beer, to be in that environment and in that atmosphere. That's what they were paying. And I could just remember thinking at the time, it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, that's crazy. Like, what I'm paying out here is way, way cheaper. Just to be able to go out and have a good night out, it's way cheaper. I'm sure pretty much anywhere in the U.S. But anyway, so just throw out some of those numbers, because I know there's a lot of expats or people who come here specifically for that. And yeah, I mean, there's probably some other things that I'm missing here, but that's kind of the general. Those are the general statistics and numbers that I wanted to throw out there, for anybody who is thinking about moving out here. The bottom line is this, it's cheap. It's way cheaper than living in the United States, and it always will be for obvious reasons. But yeah, so now that I've been here for, a year, going on a year and a half, I've got a little more, a better understanding of the prices. And so I just wanted to make an updated video and, just make an informative video for any of you who are planning to come out here and do the same thing that I'm doing. This should help. But anyway, if there was any crucial information that I missed or whatever, you can leave a comment down below, or if you have any general questions, you can leave a comment down below. Other than that, that's all I've got for you. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Peace.